you may have heard me talk about the importance of having a good partnership with your child's school. And I think that an important part of that is setting up, to facilitate that partnership, is setting up a communications binder. And that's something you can get ready this summer and have ready to go for the beginning of the new school year. But this is a place where you're going to record any information that you might need to help you communicate with your school about your child's ADHD. And so it also makes a great place where you have one thing that you can grab and take with you to meetings, and you don't have to go searching out all the things that you need when it's time to prepare to go to a meeting with your child's teacher or administrators or IEP committee or that kind of thing. So what should you include in this binder? Well, one, I like to have 5 tabs, and the first one is the communications tab, and I put in there a contact list. And so that would be contact numbers and emails of teachers, administrators, maybe school psychologists, any doctors, psychologists or counselors that your child may see, anybody that you might need to contact that has anything to do with your child's ADHD. So you can communicate with people easily and not have to search out that information every time. Then the second thing is going to be a communication log. And I actually will attach one of these to this video, and I would suggest printing out several of them and having them in the binder ready to go. The reason a log is so important to use is that it's really easy when you're making notes as you're talking to forget about some of the important details that you might need to record about that conversation, and having the log is just going to remind you of all the kind of things that you do need to record about that conversation. So use the log regularly. It will really help you out. And then also put in that section written communication. So, hard letters and emails, copies of those. I would actually print them out and put them in that binder. Again, if everything's in one place, it's going to make your life a lot easier. The second tab I like to have is for evaluations, and I would include things like request, your request for an evaluation or referrals for evaluation from teachers at school, the consent to evaluate that you sign, and then actually the assessments that are done, not only by the school, but any private assessments that you've done, if psychoeducational evaluations done by a private party, that include those in that section as well. Then the third tab that I would have is for the actual IEP or Section 504 plan if you have one. And so I would, in addition to just the plan itself, I would include the parents' rights and safeguards on those plans so that you have that readily accessible, and also prior written notice of meetings and actual notes from those meetings. The fourth tab that I would have would be one for report cards and progress notes. And so I think that's kind of self-explanatory. Just keep copies of those in that binder. And the fifth tab would be for sample work. And I would not only include samples of schoolwork, especially throughout the year, so so that you can samples of schoolwork, so that you can kind of see how your child is progressing through the year, and again, not have to go searching out for that stuff. So the other thing that I would put in there is results from standardized tests that they take at school. That will be important information to have as well. And so I guess I actually told a story. I actually have six tabs in my binder, and the sixth one is going to be for behavior. So behavior, again, a little bit self-explanatory, but I would include the school handbook, a copy of your school's handbook, so you can reference what those school rules are if you need to. A copy of the school calendar will be helpful. If your school has a behavior intervention plan for your child, put a copy of that in there. And also any disciplinary notices, whether they're big or just daily notices from your teacher, or just even daily communication about behaviors, even if it's not a disciplinary problem, it's just a good note. Keep those in there as well, but keep all those in the behavior section. So in addition to this binder, the other thing that I would do is scan all of these important documents and keep them in a folder on your computer desktop so that they're easily accessible and you can quickly share them with other individuals who might need those or request those down the road. But all of that stuff will just make your life a little bit easier when the time comes. Now, I know I throw a lot of stuff out there at you, and so I will, again, I'm going to attach that communications log for you so that you have that. You can use that, or you can make your own, but that's a good one you can just print out and use. And the second thing I'm going to do is actually what I call the table of contents from the binder that I use. So you can see the tabs that I use and some of those things right there, and you have that for your reference. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Post them on this page and I will answer them. Or if you have other ideas that other people might, that I didn't mention here that might help somebody else who's just starting out with their communications binder, please share those with us too. So have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your summer.